Meal plans versus macros versus calorie counting. Which one is the best for you to see success on your weight loss journey if you're looking to lose weight, keep the weight off, and find a healthy balance in your everyday life? Hopefully this video will help you out and give you a little bit of guidance and kind of share with you what's worked for me. So let's jump into it. Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Danielle. This is Daniela Diaries, and I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, hello. We're just trying to inspire you, me, everyone, your mama, your granny, your auntie, anyone and everyone to be the very best version of yourself, whatever that version may be. Each person's version will be different. And we're just here to just support and offer a safe space on the internet where all are welcome, all are supported, and we real friends here. So hopefully you will stick around. Make sure you guys you are subscribed and you do have that push notification on, because YouTube is just playing some games. I've emailed them. They're trying to work on some things, but make sure you have those on and leave a nice comment down below and give the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out and gets the video kind of pushed out to more people. So I appreciate all your help and support with trying just to grow this little space here. So back at the topic at hand, macros. Macronutrients, which is basically your fats, your proteins, and your carbs. Meal plans, which basically, are a set thing you eat every week. And counting calories. Honestly, they all kind of do the same, right? It depends on how you guys want to do. What do I feel is the best? I don't think any one is better than the other. I think if you want to count calories and you feel like you can do that, then do that. If you want to count macros, then you can go ahead and do that. And if you want to be on a meal plan, you can do that. I think all three ways will lead you to a successful ending, It just depends on your lifestyle, okay? For a very, very long time, I either counted calories or counting macros. Macros, I counted more or less because I was focusing a lot on bodybuilding and I was trying to do more fat loss along with muscle gain, which is really, really hard. It's very, very hard and it's very tricky, and it was very annoying to me because I felt like no matter what macros I chose, nothing was ever working. Every macro calculator was different, and I was just like hella annoyed. And then you had to do like the macro Tetris, where I was like, all right, I have 12 grams of carbs, but I have 30 grams of protein, but I only got 2 grams of fat. Let's just figure out what we can eat for that. It wasn't even so much about the calories that I was paying attention to, but more or less the macros. And then, so that became tricky, and then I would just get annoyed, and then I would either overeat or undereat, or I just would be like, screw it. And then with counting calories, it was kind of the same thing, where you're like, all right, I got 200 calories left, but I'm like really hungry. Like, what can I eat, And you're like, well, I can really go for like a steak, and you're like, dang, that's 600 calories. Can't have that. And then and then if you're anything like me, I would just get so frustrated that I would get hangry, and nobody was happy, especially anybody who lived with me. So currently I have been on a meal plan. Now I want to say this, my meal plan was not made up by myself. I have a coach, I hired a coach. If you guys are interested, let me know and I'll leave her information down below. Also, I just want to take a quick pause. I got some questions or something on the last video where I mentioned her. If you guys sign up with her, you guys sign up with her. Like, I'm still paying I pay what you guys pay. Like, I don't get any cut like deals or percentages off or anything like that. I'm a paying customer. I pay her with my money. She's not sponsoring me or anything like that. I sought her out. I hired her, and I'm just sharing with you what's worked. So just to kind of clear that air. So again, I did hire a coach, and she made a meal plan for me along with a training routine. I do think that's not a bad idea if you're just kind of getting on with meal planning. I think it's a nice idea to maybe, follow along with somebody who has a little bit of education behind it to kind of lead you and guide you, whether that's a dietitian, nutrition, or if you hire a coach from wherever, somebody who has the know-how. Again, be wary on who you hire. Do your research. I've hired coaches previously that, I just like kind of found them on Instagram, and I was like, oh, she's cute, she looks great. I want to look like that, but then it just didn't work out, So just be wary. So on to it, meal planning. I think meal planning is probably the best. I was offered meal plans before, and I never took part in them because I always thought, like, especially because I shared so many full days of eating on here, that I should have some kind of diversity in my eating. I will say that if you are somebody who does not like eating the same things throughout the week, maybe a meal plan isn't for you. But I really like it. I really like it because I have like a set schedule. Like, you know, I know at 11 I'm going to eat this. I know at 2 I'm going to eat this. At 6 I'm going to I have my whole day set out and I don't have to think about it. I take one day, sometimes two. Leo's on the meal plan with me now, so we meal prep sometimes twice a week depending on if we run out of vegetable or not. And even for Leo, it's been really great. So I'm going to share, this is kind of like a meal planning 101, and I'm going to share on our next video, which is going to be Wednesday, on how I meal plan and meal prep, okay? Meal planning and meal prepping are really, I think it's really great, and it's really simplistic, and it'll assure you that you are not under or overeating, and you don't have to like have your phone out and count anything. So I want to give you guys kind of a basic idea of what your meal plan should kind of look like, okay? So you're going to want to have, depending on if you're working out and stuff like that, I'm just going to give you kind of a general look at what mine looks like, okay? I do strength train 5 days a week, and I work out I do 6 days of cardio. That's for me, for my specific goals. I did have some weight to lose, and I do have a long-term goal of being in a bodybuilding competition in like 2 years. So I slowly wanted to, I didn't want to jump into like a hardcore prep. I couldn't do that. I knew I wasn't there. And I just wanted to slowly get to where I wanted to. I feel like the longer it takes, the longer the results last. Okay, if you do something that's quick, if you do like a quick weight loss, I feel like you cannot maintain it long term. So, so getting back to the meal plan, what should a traditional meal plan look like? So each meal should have a purpose, right? So my first meal of the day is always a carb and a protein, because I'm going to eat that before I go to the gym. Now, that's before I weight train. You can do your cardio fasted, but you shouldn't really ever do strength training fasted, because you don't want to like burn into your muscle storage. Again, I'm not a professional, but this is just kind of what I've read and kind of was told, okay? So you want to make sure that you have something. So that protein is going to help feed the muscles, and the carbs are going to help give me some energy. And I'm not saying like sit down and eat a bowl of cereal. I have a English muffin, I think is roughly like 20 carbs, and a protein shake with my protein powder doesn't have any carbs in it, and it's 25 grams of protein. It's very lightweight. I can work out on it and not feel sick. As I'm walking into the gym, I have a Rice Krispie treat. Why a Rice Krispie treat? Some people might ask. Again, these are not like the big, huge ones, or like the little, like 90 calorie ones, because they're a fast digesting carb, and they're going to give me a boost of energy to help, you know, really annihilate a weighted, you know, strength training routine. If you're not doing, you know, all the weights as I am, you don't need to have the Rice Krispie treat, you know what I mean? But if you're really into strength training, I would suggest, you know, going along those lines. And then I will come home, right? Come home, and then I'll have my second meal on strength training days. I do carb cycle, so on days that I'm not strength training, I do have lower carbs, okay? Just because I don't need them. I utilize all my food groups for purpose. You know, carbs are for energy. I need a lot more energy when I'm in the gym. Strength training, if I'm not strength training, I don't need as many carbs, so I'll pull back. I still eat carbs, I still eat fruit. There's nothing that's off limits. No food group is good or bad. Everything has a purpose, and I eat everything, okay? But it's very simplistic and in moderation. My protein servings aren't super high. Now, I had to, when I first started following a meal plan, my protein servings were significantly higher than my carb servings, and I wasn't losing any weight, and I just was hungry, and I just didn't like it. I'm going to be honest with you. Considering I was on a keto diet and low carb diet for so long, protein just doesn't appeal to me, and my body just doesn't like it as much. My body likes to be a little bit more carb dominant. It functions better, the weight comes off quicker, and I just feel better, okay? So my protein servings are about 3.5 ounces per meal that I have. I always have a protein with each meal. If I want to do either a protein, or I can do a protein shake. But I like to eat my food. I don't like to really drink it too much. So I'll have protein with like a shredded potato and an avocado, like 2 ounces of avocado. You're going to be careful with avocado, because even though it is a good fat, it is calorically dense. You don't want too much. So I'll have that. Then I eat every 2 to 3 hours. A lot of people question why I eat so frequently. Why are you only, you know, people have, And this isn't against intermittent fasting or, you know, OMAD or anything like that, okay? This is just what does it for me and what I have been taught and what I'm learning, okay? My metabolism is severely damaged. Why is it severely damaged? Because I was a chronic yo-yo dieter and severely restricted my caloric intake to where my metabolism started to, like, you know, it basically shut down. That's why I wasn't seeing any results. I wasn't losing any weight. And yeah, I just didn't feel the best, right? So how do you heal your metabolism? Well, you want to heal it by kickstarting it. You want to feed it. You don't want to just like dump a ton of food on it and then just let it, you know, just kind of slug through the rest of the day. You want to keep it going, keep adding, you know, like it's like you're having a fire at your house, right? You still got to add a little bit of wood to it to keep it burning. Same instance for food in your metabolism. So I eat every 2 to 3 hours to keep my metabolism going to help it heal itself. I've been doing this now for 3 months, and I definitely could tell that my body's responding a lot better. And I just feel a lot better. I feel like I look a lot better as well physically with my shape. So then after my second meal, I have 6 meals a day. I wait a couple hours. That'll leave me around noon, 1 o'clock, and that's where my next meal will come in, and that's like a midday snack. I have options, right? So for me, I'm able to have like a lean white meat, okay? So you don't have to eat chicken every day. I don't eat chicken breast at all. I hate chicken breast. It is the driest Sahara desert food. I don't care if you have any type of recipes and, you know, you take it. I've tried them all. Tried baking it in a bag, tried pulling it off and letting it sit. Look, when you go to reheat it, it's dry. And you're just angry because you're eating some dry chicken. Same thing with 99% ground turkey. I can tolerate it, but I usually only eat it on Fridays because I'm like, look, tomorrow's Saturday and I can cook something else. But usually on Fridays is when I'll have it. But I just, and it's so dry. Ugh. Anyways, so I can do, for the majority of my meals, I can have a selection of chicken, 99% ground turkey, white fish, and turkey. I don't know if I said that already, but yeah, you can have it. And I always go for boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm going to show you how I cook them on our next video, but they're so good and so easy. They reheat really well, and they're really, really delicious. A lot of people are worried about marinades. I tend to stay away from a lot of marinades. Why? Because there's a lot of sugar. I try to make as much as my stuff myself because you can't trust these stuff in the store packages for the majority of them, especially like marinades. If I do a marinade, that'll be like on shrimp. Shrimp is also part of like the whitefish chicken thing. I'll do like a cilantro, lemon, garlic marinade and then make it myself. But as far as like the Lawry's ones, I try to stay away from those, to be honest. And then I'll keep going, and then I'll have like, and I can have a choice, so I'll have like a 3.5 ounces of protein, and then for my midday snack, I'll have like a half a bagel, or I can have 2 rice cakes, or I can have an apple. I always go for a bagel because a bagel is my favorite. And then going on to my next meal, that's where I'll have like my fattier cut of meat. I could do salmon, I can do 93 to 96% lean ground beef, or I can do like a lean cut of steak. I usually do like salmon or steak, just because I enjoy them more. And then you could have a side of carb, right? Carb for me, my sources from carbs are either plain white pasta, not chickpea pasta, not protein pasta, none of that stuff. Why? Because it has so much fiber in it, it just jacks up my stomach. So I stay away from that, okay? I don't do anything like plant-based. Everything is just like a white. I usually do like a bronze cut pasta. I do a jasmine rice. That's the only type of rice. I don't eat long grain rice, brown rice, basmati rice, anything else, just jasmine rice. Or I'll do a potato of any kind, sweet potato, brown potato, purple potato, any type of potato, you can have that. And then I measure them out. And then I'll have a vegetable. Vegetables for me are asparagus, green beans, cabbage, onion, mushroom. It just varies. I did take a sensitivity test, and I have a sensitivity to like tomatoes. So I stay away from any type of tomato, really any nightshades, grapes too, because they cause a lot of inflammation in my gut. Definitely recommend a food sensitivity test, because sometimes your weight isn't coming off. It's not because you're heavy, but it's because you're so inflamed that you are struggling with like food inflammation. So definitely check that out. I know my friend Kristen said that she was allergic to chicken. And I was like, damn, like that's all people eat sometimes is chicken. So check that out. It's really be shocking to you to see you know, what it is. I think a lot of insurance companies might even cover it as well. So definitely check out what your insurance company. Everly is the one I think I used. Everly, yeah, it was like 110 bucks, but yeah, it is what it is. So going on furthermore, then I'll have my and then going on through the night, I'll have my third meal is like the meat. My fourth meal is like a chicken with a rice, and then, or a pasta. And then my fifth meal, I always end the night with a carb with some protein to keep my metabolism running overnight. So I'll do oatmeal with a protein scoop. You could also do like a Faye yogurt, like the 0%, so it's no fat in there. You don't want anything high in fat, but you want something with a good carb and a good protein source to help your body keep your metabolism keep running and keep working to burn off all the food and all the, you know, the weight or whatever. I also am dairy free, and I was really surprised that I do like an oat creamer in my coffee. I try to lay back off the coffee, but I stay away from dairy. Now, I will say that it sounds more complicated than what it is. I can, if you guys are interested, let me know. And in my meal prep video, I can kind of like type out like a general like meal plan, not per se the one I follow, but kind of a generalized one, and the one I kind of have for Leo. And if you guys want to follow that, you can go on ahead. I'm not going to give you my meal plan because that's specifically towards me, towards my goals, towards my weight, you know, stuff like that. But I can kind of give you the one that I have Leo following, and, you know, go from there. Again, depending on if you're a man or a woman, what your fitness goals are, you might want to draw back on the proteins and stuff like that. But let me know if you're interested, and I can kind of type one out, and you guys can, and I'll leave it in the description box, and you guys can follow that. So let me know down below, and I can include that in the meal prep video. So why do I choose meal planning? Because it's simple. Because I don't have to worry about what I'm making for dinner. I do make dinner for my kids separately. Like, my kids don't eat what I eat. They have a little bit more of assortments and stuff like that, but I make something separate from them. I don't mind to cook. Cooking has never been the issue. It's just I felt like eating the right things. Working out was never the problem for me. It was my eating and then trying to get everything in correlation. Weight loss is 80% what you're eating, 20% of movement. So if you're in the gym and you're busting your butt and the scale isn't moving and you're not seeing the results, it has to do with your eating. Now, I also tell this to my father, okay? My dad, I talked about this in my full day of eating. My dad's 6'3", and he's like 100 and I think he's maybe 200 pounds, maybe. He's very long. He was really heavy years ago and he lost a lot of weight, but he's been bodybuilding now for 9 years, and he's like, you know, I can't put on any mass, this and that. And I'm like, Dad, are you tracking your food? No. But my dad's also 6 years old and very stubborn. And I'm like, Dad, you know, even like the lady who owns the gym, she's like, hey, you know, track your food, bring it in, and we can look at it. And I'm like, Dad, you're not eating enough. You're not eating enough. That's why you're not seeing any results. You're not eating enough. And then with my mom's the complete opposite, where my mom's been thin her whole life, and she's used to, you know, eating a little bit more, but she's retired now, so she's put on a little bit of weight. So I'm like, you're eating too much, you know. You gotta find that perfect median, you know. I know it might be a little annoying to, you know, weigh out your meat portions or whatever, but honestly, if you just do it one day a week on Sundays and you get all your TUPs out there and you're like, all right, 3, like 4 ounces of protein, 100 grams of veg, 100 grams of carb. All right, boom, 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 boom. All you got to do is really pull out a Tupperware and throw it in the microwave for 2.5 minutes and top it with some sauces. Also, G. Hughes sauces are elite, out of this world. There's sweet chili sauces out of this world. Their steak sauce is really good. Their ketchup's really good. I don't eat the ketchup. Their sweet chili sauce works fine for me, but their ketchup messes with my stomach. The Polynesian sauce was okay, wasn't my favorite, but the kids liked it. I mean, he also has marinades and stuff. I've never tried them, but he has salad dressings now. Like, it's really, really good. So definitely recommend those. Add a little bit of flavor. Season your food, guys. Like, I don't understand why people think when you say you're like on a meal plan that you're eating like boiled chicken and white rice, and you're like, you know, like county food. You know, you don't have to eat like that. It doesn't have to be horrible. You make the best out of the situation. It's only as good as you make it. And you'll be really surprised at how creative you will get with trying to give yourselves your food a little bit of spice, you know? So I'll make my own marinades, and I'll chop up a lot of fresh seasonings, or I season up my chicken, and I have it going on the air fryer. I put on the flat top grill, get it all going. Like, I don't mind it, and it tastes really good. Even with, like, I don't add a lot of oils or anything to my food. Even with my white rice, I'll add cilantro, some lime zest, some salt, and make it like a lime cilantro shrimp or like rice. It's so good. Leo likes it. The kids even love it. It's delicious. So it's not a punishment. Being on a weight loss journey is not a punishment. I think we come from a society where we feel like, you know, if you're on a weight loss journey, then like it has to be hard, it has to be a punishment, and you have to be miserable. And that is not the case, because if you look at it like that, you're going to treat it like that, and you're never going to find happiness or contentment with it, and you're never going to make it a lifestyle. I did see a comment in the last video where they said, how are you going to make this a lifestyle when you don't know your macros? Because you know, eventually I'm not going to be on a meal plan forever, obviously, but eventually I'll just know, like, all right, keep my proteins around 4 ounces, keep my carbs around 100 grams, keep my veggies around, and it doesn't bother me. Also, when I go anywhere during the week, for example, I went to my brother and sister-in-law's house. They smoked a brisket and ribs. I brought my food with me. I have no shame in my game. I don't care. I've gone to holiday parties and brought my food. You know, it's one thing people invite you over to eat when my hair look crazy, when they're having a party and they're like, hey, I made extra, come eat. But for me, the real enjoyment that I get is from seeing people, seeing my nephew, seeing oh my gosh, that was my stomach, seeing my nephew, seeing my sister-in-law, you know, seeing my family, you know, and just enjoying their company. You know, the food doesn't bother me at all. You know, I mean, it's neither here or there. You know, I'm not hungry. I'm not starving. I bring my own food. It's whatever. And then I have my own Tupperware to bring home leftovers for Leo and the kids. It doesn't bother me. So if it doesn't bother you, it's not going to bother anybody else. And now if you're sitting there like, let me see, like, and you're like got a rib in your nose sniffing it and eating white rice and your boiled chicken, then yes, it's going to be awful. But it doesn't have to be. Make the best out of it. I mean, it's really not that bad. I think even people like my dad, I had brought it, I think it was like a pool party or a family party, something, and I brought my food, and my dad was like, man, like, I'm really proud of you. Like, that's pretty badass. And I was like, thanks, Dad. Like, he's like my number one. He's like a true one, that guy. But you know, it's not that hard. It really isn't. I really feel like meal plan is the way to go. Again, let me know if you guys are interested. I could break one down. But I think that if you're just starting out and you don't want to be tied to a scale or, you know, your phone tracking devices and, you know, the Tetris of figuring out, I think a meal plan, a simple meal plan will work great. You figure out which proteins you like. You can do pork. I mean, there's really a lot of options. I really find that being on a meal plan helps eliminate a lot of my frivolous spending in the grocery store. I do hit the grocery store probably 2 to 3 times a week because I make enough produce only to last like 2 days, and then I remake it again. I don't know why. I don't know if it's only here. Let me know if you guys are noticing it too, but the produce does not last more than like 2 days out on the counter. So I'll buy like, you know, 4 or 5 zucchinis, cut them up, and then I'll see if, you know, Leo's, sometimes like he's just not in the mood for zucchini and I'm the only one. So I don't want to overdo it and then be stuck with a bunch, and then we'll do like asparagus and I'll go and pick some of those up. It's really great. It's really great. It's really simple. And if Leo can do it, guys, I promise you any of you can. You know my guy, he's a little stubborn. So I hope this video is helpful and informative, and you guys find out kind of which way you want to go on this journey. Again, I can leave that like kind of generalized meal plan down below. If you are looking for some great coaching, there's plenty out there. Again, I just try to, I'm really enjoying the simplicity of eating this way, because, you know, then you got it, like if you're gonna make like, you know, all these different recipes or these Pinterest recipes, and you're like gonna make them macro friendly, then you gotta weigh out everything, and then you gotta buy all the ingredients and make sure it's this kind of ingredients. And what if you can't find that type that's gonna make it macro friendly, like that specific cream of chicken soup, 99% fat free. I only remember this because I remember looking for it a few months ago and I couldn't find it. And it just became really frustrating for me. And you know, I was just like, no, this is good. This is good. Try a meal plan. You know, give it 2 weeks before you start panicking. I think a lot of people's issues come with meal planning or weight loss is that they don't see the results as quick as they think that they should. It takes 2 weeks for your body to really adjust to a new routine to see if it's working. So if you're starting a meal plan, you got to give it 2 weeks and then go from there. And I'll tell you for a fact, because my coach doesn't change my meal plan every week. It's, if anything changes, she's either lowering or upping my cardio, unless I say, hey, this week I have been absolutely starving, and then go from there. I think within like the last 3 weeks, she only changed my meal plan once, and she slowly starts to pull away at little items. You know, like she's like, all right, for your 5th meal, we're not going to have avocado with that meal. It's just going to be your protein and your carb. All right, cool. Or it'll say on your oatmeal, drop it down by 10 grams. Just very simple, minor little pullbacks that don't even seem like a big deal, but the long run, you'll see a benefit. So give yourself some grace. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You didn't gain all your weight overnight. You're not going to lose it overnight. Give yourself some grace. Really embrace this journey. If you fight this journey, if you treat it like it's a punishment, you're never going to make it a lifestyle. Embrace it. Love yourself. Treat this. You are giving yourself the best opportunity at being the very best version of yourself. You're putting yourself forward, and you're really taking the ultimate self-care into yourself by working on your physical, mental, and spiritual health. And that is truly what this fitness and wellness journey is about. Not about a number on the scale, but really treating yourself and treating your body like a temple, you know, really investing in yourself. And when you start doing that and you start seeing these amazing results, you know, where you start feeling proud of yourself with eating on plan, you know, moving your body, you're going to become so much more confident with who you are as a person as well. And you're going to transform, and people are going to see it. They'll see it before you do, I promise. I know you guys can do it, so don't give up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!